The next question is from Desiree. Desiree says, I'm going through a really hard time with this COVID thing right now. I'm stuck at home. I don't know what to do with myself. The crazy part is I run a successful business and I have a ton of things that I should be doing. But for some reason, I'm doing nothing. I'm scared to ask for help because everyone I know thinks that I have it all together, which I do, but I don't. But I do, but I don't. Thank you, Nathen. I'm so grateful for everything you do. Well, Desiree, I'm grateful for everything you do too. Thanks for writing in. The first thing that comes to mind is you run a successful business, and we all just got hit with this super unexpected situation, first time in all of our lives probably, that the whole world has to stay home. And so the first thing I would say is just, give yourself a little bit of leeway. Be easy on yourself, because this is a big unexpected transition. And so maybe, who knows, maybe your body in your mind, your subconscious is telling you rest, like rejuvenate, take some time, like take care of yourself, practice some self-care. Maybe it needs that for this transition. Tell yourself, tell your body, tell your mind, this is a transition. I'm patient with you. It's okay. I personally, I have a problem of just being always overworking myself, right? And I have huge goals, and I know that I have to work 12, 13, 14-hour days. And in order to do that, I just go. But at the same time, by giving myself the self-care, knowing that I have to do that, is so incredibly important, and just allowing myself to kind of master that transitional period in between the normal world and what's going on now is a pretty big deal. But as a businesswoman, you also know the opportunities that are available right now that have never been available because of what's going on. And for that, I tell you, you're right. So here's the thing. I think for you, one of the main things that I would do in your shoes is be really clear about your time management and about your emotion management within those time frames. Let me explain. So, time management. During these hours, I'm going to focus on my business and or whatever the things are that I have to do. During these hours, self-care. Schedule in your self-care and force yourself to do that self-care, that non-work during those hours. That way, when you're working, you can really focus in. Eben Pagan taught me this thing called the 60-60-30 or the 30-60-60, one of those. And basically what you do is you spend 60 minutes working on something, and then you take a 5-minute break. 60 minutes working on something with a timer, with your phone out, just timer on and everything. Just set it, stick it right by your desk, work on the thing that you got to work on for 60 minutes. If you have to go to the bathroom, you got to wait. If you got to grab something to eat, you got to wait. If you want to check your text messages, you got to wait. If you want to check your email, you got to wait. Nothing stops you from that 60-minute timer. Then you take a 5-minute break. Okay, if you want, you can take a 10-minute break, a 15-minute break. Go grab something to eat, walk outside, go do whatever you got to do. Then timer, 60 minutes again. Drop the phone, set it right there, work 100%, no questions asked, no taking phone calls, no nothing. Okay, after that 60 minutes, you take a 30-minute break. From there, that might be your whole day. Or you can do it all over again. It depends on your situation. It depends what you're going through. Maybe even you do a 60-60-30 for your business, then you do a 60-60-30 for another project that you're working on, or chores throughout the house, whatever you have to do, and then you take some self-care time. But make sure that you actually stick to that self-care time. To be honest, it's something I'm still struggling with as well. So I'm only preaching. Other than that, I think the other thing to consider is not only having great time management, but having emotion management on your time. What that means is don't have FOMO about the thing you're not doing, right? So, for example, if you were to, theoretically speaking, in a different time, if you were to be sitting at home getting ready to work on your project, and your friends, your best friends in the whole world, call you out to go to the beach, and you're like, oh God, I really want to go to the beach, but I'm really supposed to work on my thing. Which one do I do? Okay. Well, if you choose to stay home, if you're like me and most humans, you're going to be at home working, wishing you were at the beach. And if you go to the beach, you're going to be there with your friends at the beach having fun, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you're still going to be thinking, I was supposed to be productive today, and wishing that you were back at home doing that. So whatever you decide to do in that chunk of time, commit to it emotionally. Decide, you know what, I'm gonna do this and I'm not gonna wish I was doing something else, right? So if you need that time, whether it's a few hours a day, a week, a whole week where you just take everything off completely, you're the owner of the business, it sounds like you might be able to do that, then just make sure you set out that time consciously. And then from there, stick to it. And when you're doing the task or when you're taking the time off, decide that you are not going to wish you were doing the other things. That could be huge. Also, another thing that I highly recommend is having an accountability partner. So if you're going through stuff and you're having a challenging time with sticking to something, have an accountability partner. I talked about it in one of the recent questions. I have an accountability partner, multiple, where I will pay that person money if I don't accomplish something by a certain time. So say, for instance, you're writing an article and you are like, I've been procrastinating on this article. I don't know why I haven't done this. You can call up your friend. You can be like, Lindsay, if I don't do this by Thursday, then I'm gonna pay you $100. And I have to actually email you the finished article by noon on Thursday, or else I owe you $100. And that way, you're probably not gonna pay Lindsay. And if $100 is nothing to you, make it 1,000. It's just like, depending on how important the task is to you, and how hard it is for you to get it done, that determines how much you're gonna pay. If you don't like the idea of pay, just having somebody that you want to look up to you and someone that that you respect, and just tell them you'll do it. And if you don't do it, you gotta tell them the truth. So hopefully that helps. I want you to really truly feel through this time like you're in flow, like you're in motion, like you have a rhythm throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your life. And in order to get that, we have to step back and just allow ourselves to see the bigger picture. And we're healthy, we're happy, we're safe. And during this transition, let's look back 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And when, our kids or, whoever it is asks us, what was it like during that COVID thing when everyone was locked up in their house? What did you do? You can say, oh yeah, I struggled for a little bit with getting on track, but it turned out to be a really sweet and special time for me because I took advantage of it and I made my best efforts and I got into a really good rhythm, and maybe even more, maybe create something beautiful. Thanks so much for your question.